You think you've heard every crazy Drake versus Kendrick theory? Think again. Because if what Drake's fans are saying is true, this beef wasn't just rap. It was a master plan years in the making. Or was it all just smoke and mirrors? Well now, when it comes to Drake and Kendrick Lamar, if you're trying to see how the self-proclaimed Six God is once again taking shots at Kendrick Lamar, practically begging for another round of beef for reasons only he knows, then buckle up. Hit that like button, subscribe, because you're not gonna want to miss this breakdown. Here's the thing. After the OVO detectives finally pieced together a sentence, Drake is now parading around like some lyrical mastermind, some supervillain who's been playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. And supposedly, there's this bigger plot with Kendrick Lamar that might blow up into something far bigger than anyone expected. Drake's stans want you to believe the man who dropped The Heart Part 6 is a prophetic genius who saw this all coming. But today, no fluff, no filler, we're tearing apart this theory piece by piece. So, go ahead, leave that like now, because this one's gonna hit a nerve. Here's where it gets ridiculous. Drake has been liking multiple fan theory posts claiming that based on his lyrics in Family Matters, he foresaw everything that's happening with his lawsuit and label drama. They're acting like he's Gandalf the Grey, Yoda, or some mystical figure who could see the future before it even happened. And the so-called evidence? It comes from the end of Family Matters, where Drake accused Kendrick of needing a management team to cover up some awful thing he allegedly did, something there's still zero proof of. From there, the theory snowballs. Drake supposedly name-dropped an LLC called Nowhere to Hide, which fans claim is tied to a man named Kojo, someone who's suddenly become a figure in the ongoing case. The claim? That this LLC is Kojo's company. The reality? It's looking more like a false registry, not tied to Kojo at all. But hey, when you're not obsessed with rap conspiracy boards, it's pretty easy to see this for what it is. If we actually take Drake at his word here, the implication is insane. He's suggesting he knew there would be a diss track aimed at him that would tank his reputation, devalue him in the label system, and be part of some massive setup beyond his control, yet somehow he knew every detail. And what did he supposedly do with this so-called knowledge? He sat back, let it all unfold, and allowed it to drag his name through the mud for over a year, completely altering the trajectory of his career and hip-hop as a whole. Yeah, makes perfect sense, right? Because if you believe this, you're buying into the idea that ever since Kendrick dropped Like That, Drake knew it was all an elaborate plot, yet he still went into push-ups like it was just another lyrical spar. Then, he doubled down in Family Matters, only for Kendrick to drop the track Drake allegedly knew was coming, after which Drake answered with The Heart Part 6. And here's where the whole fantasy collapses. The Heart Part 6 wasn't some 4D chess move, it was Drake trying to patch a leak with a paper towel, making wild claims about the daughter that only trashed his credibility further and exposed just how rattled he was. Let's be real. If Drake actually had a plan and knew this was all happening, he wouldn't have used one of the most important moments in his career to fumble this hard. That would have been a game-changing reveal. But instead, we got a mess. Because if you're on the OVO side and you still think Drake saw it all coming, you're basically believing that he intentionally let his career take hit after hit for over a year, just to win some long game that's clearly not working? No one ever has willingly burned their own legacy like that. Meanwhile, Drake's busy liking posts about how he's the real Boogeyman compared to Kendrick, yet still refuses to say Kendrick's name directly. That's not a mastermind move. That's bait without a hook. Truth is, Drake's just lucky his fans are willing to stretch vague lines into whatever fits their fantasy. Because when you really examine Drake's writing over the last decade, you see a pattern, what I call diss slop. Vague, angry shots at someone that could be about anybody, so later fans can retroactively pretend it's prophecy. Look at Stories for My Brother. At the end, Drake says, "You are not Kobe Bryant to us." Now, some people want to claim it's about Kendrick. Others say it's about LeBron. Truth, it's probably not about neither. It's just another open-ended jab. Same with Red Button. Fans now insist it predicted the Kendrick beef, but knowing Drake actually asked Kendrick to be on the album, that theory crumbles instantly. So when it comes to the Kojo line in Family Matters, I don't buy it. There's no proof Drake was being calculated. It's just more vague, retrofitted hype. Why does this matter? Because this revisionist history is spreading across hip-hop, painting Drake as some genius puppet master in this beef. But based on his actions, he doesn't actually want anything direct with Kendrick. He'll sub him, sure, but he's not saying the name. Still, maybe Drake's own ego will push him into round 2. And if that happens, Kendrick won't even need to break a sweat. Just drop that unreleased diss he's holding and watch the internet explode. If that's the price for more Kendrick Lamar music, then hey, let Drake bait all he wants, because when it drops, it'll be a win for rap, and Drake will still go down as one of the lamest to ever play the game. So tell me, do you buy the theory that Drake knew everything about this beef from the start, or is he just rewriting history to save face? Drop your thoughts below. And if you made it this far, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Now, if you want to see Drake's most pathetic on-stage rant to date, one that somehow topped his last meltdown, click the video right here.